Hello, everybody. Just tuning in. We're about to get started in a couple minutes. Welcome to Thursdays live from Fullerton. Getting ready to start soon.
Tú eres como el sol, la luna, tú la brisa y yo el reflejo, la mirada, yo el carmín en el espejo, te dibuja un corazón, eres la musa que me da la inspiración, porque tú eres como el sol, la luna, tú la brisa y yo el reflejo, tú la amiga que siempre tiene un consejo, te dibuja un corazón, eres la musa que me da la inspiración. Es la reina de los ojos de gata, el vagabundo de los
Welcome everybody from Cielo. There's the camera. Cielo karaoke más. Going live in a minute.
Surco los mares
Literally.
en mi barco pirata, busco el tesoro de la niña de la plata. Tú eres el viento y yo la vela que me lleva navegando por el mar de la pasión, porque tú eres como el sol, la luna, tú la brisa, yo el reflejo.
Hello, Rocio. How are you? You go through the kitchen. The place is not open yet. Tell them you're here for the podcast. The kitchen and the side. We're going live in a minute. See you soon. Bye. So, hello, everybody. Let me lower this down. I wanted to welcome all of you. My name is Andre. For those of you that didn't know about what we did last week, we did Thursdays, and it was a great event. Not an event, but a happening. I guess we're creating a podcast as we go. But I'm very grateful to the guests we had, the insights they gave us, and Thursdays is here for you. And for anybody that is interested in knowing how to better manage what they do with MultiServices. We'll be giving away this hat in a little while. So welcome. We have a couple hats. We have this one from Cielo. This is their newest version. It's Cielo Karaoke Más. If you haven't been here, I encourage you to be here. It's out here in Fullerton, California. And then later on we'll be raffling this one as well. So get some clues. I'll be talking about the hats, and there'll be the clue on how to win the hat. So we're coming to you live, and we're starting to really gain momentum. It's amazing how there has been so many people that have actually viewed the a lot of different things, just like last Thursday. This Thursday, we're going to be talking right now about a couple of things. Then obviously we have our guest. We have Alex Perez from Sentry speaking to us, as well as Rocio Parra from Solar with Ro. And we have also Flor and her husband, Cristian Orellana. Let's start a little bit talking about what we've been seeing lately, and what we've been seeing is a lot of change, and that change is never going to be this much, this fast. In the next 10 years, technology is going to change 100. Tremendous improvement in what we do today. There's going to be a lot more business being done this way, as you and I are looking at each other through social media, and there's going to be, there's a reason why Facebook has changed their name to Meta, and that whole universe for a lot of us is foreign. But basically, there's going to be conventions. It's already conventions, and I don't know if you've ever seen those little avatars. They're like, they have no feet. And you can just get your avatar and go to conventions. I've attended a couple of conventions that way, one of construction, and did get to talk to some people, But you think when you think that technology is not going to get anywhere, I think it is. I think it's moving by leaps and bounds, and obviously the people at Facebook know why. So there is going to be a virtual world for us Latino and Latino business owners. How are we going to deal with that? Is something that people got to start thinking about. Maybe if you're a small agency, you think that it doesn't matter, but there might lie your opportunity of doing a lot more. And so, I want to start by doing something fun. And this organization was created to help build a business community. And today you're going to hear, just like last Thursday, you're going to hear about people and how it has influenced their business life and how it has encouraged or increased their reach. And so for that, and especially because we are forced into a virtual world due to the pandemic, we got to highlight those that do good even during these times. Remember this organization, LAPA, which you can go to lapa.work to find us, and it is only $95 to join as a business owner. And we cover real estate, we cover insurance, we cover taxes, we cover solar, we cover a lot of different things, registration services and technology. So speaking about that, we want to talk to you about the Community Angel Awards, and the nominations are open now. Anybody that wants to send us a direct message on it, please do so. Thus far, we have 5 categories. That might be increasing a little bit, but if you know somebody in real estate that deserves to be an agency of the year, please reach out to us. They make buyers happy with their home purchases and get top dollar for their sellers. They're constantly educating the consumer. Those are the kind of leaders that we want to, put in the nomination. There'll be nominations for Real Estate Agency of the Year as well as Insurance Agency of the Year. They make every effort to protect and educate their consumers while maintaining a healthy and growing community presence. That's very important, especially nowadays. Are you helping the local community that you reach? And are you helping because you want to help, or are you helping just because it's the right thing? Whichever way you are going to help, we will love to help you increase that reach. So, Insurance Agency of the Year, Tax Preparer Agency of the Year. I know that everybody that we know in taxes is just getting ready and anxious because the tax season is about to start. And today, for example, one of our supporters contacted me out from Plasencia, and then he's like, "Is it too late to find a tax trading?" And I'm like, "Well, no, there's still enough time for you to be able to." But Tax Preparer Agency of the Year is they make sure that the consumer's best interest is on the forefront of their services. They create a financial roadmap for their consumers and have ample repeated referrals. That's what we're looking for if you want to nominate some Tax Preparer Agency of the Year. And then we have a new category for MultiServices, which is growing by leaps and bounds. Trust me, I recently saw the California license list of how many people are car registration services. And especially with the pandemic, it's a lot easier for people to go to see you straight at your office than the DMV. By the way, cheers, Thursdays, second Thursday with just water. Yum, yum. Anthony Flor is the proprietor of Cielo Karaoke Mas, also brought me a Red Bull. I don't drink a Red Bull, but I might. I don't know. But there will be no drinking for me today again. Water only. So going back, Registration Services Agency of the Year, they make sure that their customer get what is promised on a timely manner and stay constantly involved with the community they serve. There's a lot of different car registration services software that you can get for your office once you have the license from the DMV, and they are all not the same. I encourage you to reach out to us, and I must say DealerTrack is a sponsor of LAPA, but it's also, we looked around to see what was the best service, the one that has the most amount of testimonials of real influencers out there that have large agencies. What do they use? And hands down was DealerTrack. So if you use anything else than DealerTrack, contact us. We can show you how to save money, put money back into your pocket, because some of those other services have legacy systems that are antiquated and they're slow. speaking about antiquated systems, there is also another sponsor to our organizations, and look at my chapstick, is Chase Bank. Thank you for the support. Chase is here for our LAPA members and supporters to help with their business. And nowadays is, when you need a loan, just reach out to us. We can help you, certainly through one of our sponsors, which is Chase. So the most, for me up to now, out of the 5 categories, the most exciting one is Community Angel of the Year. And that's regardless of the type of financial services that particular person or agency offers, they're constantly seeking ways in which they can help those in need and encourage others to do the same. We need more and more of that. There is a lot of misery to try to help, be a community angel. And please let us know who you want to nominate. Nominations are open until February 15th, so please start sending in your nominations. We're going to be posting who's been nominated as we go. Change is the only permanence, and because change is the only permanence, you got to focus on the customer needs, not on what you think they need, but what they actually do need. And for that, it's what we've created an organization to better yourself, to make more connections, to get new ideas, to learn from failure so you don't do them yourself. And I'm excited today that we have, people that have done that for themselves and are willing to help others do the same. That's what an alliance is for. Juntos somos más fuertes. So I wanted to bring up our first guest, who is not really a guest because she's been involved with us for a long time. And she's also, talk about MultiService. She started with one thing, coming out of corporate America and becoming an entrepreneur, I believe during COVID. But I also know that she's also a person that learns and is coachable. I've seen her progress in the little bit of time that we've known each other, maybe 6-7 months. No, a little bit more than that, almost a year, I think. And so, without any further ado, come on up, Rocio Parra with Solar with Raw, and then we'll start speaking with her. Later on, we'll have Alex Perez as well as Cristian and Flor Orellana talking to us about life insurance. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How was traffic?
It's lovely at this time.
Yeah, I used to live over in Ontario. Now that I live in North Hollywood, oh my God.
You moved to North Hollywood?
Yeah.
Great. Wow.
North Hollywood's cool though. It's like, to me, it reminds me, I used to live in Silver Lake.
Okay,
Yeah.
not too far.
Yeah, so it reminds me of when I used to live in Silver Lake. And yeah, you fix it how you want it. There you go.
Okay.
So, first, let me start by saying congratulations. You were somewhere last week. I saw in the social media. Where were you?
Or how about Happy New Year?
Oh, Happy New Year. That's right. We haven't seen each other in person.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yes. And so you were last week, you were in Mexico?
I was in Playa del Carmen over New Year's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I just got back from Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is Austin cold? I love Austin. I used to live there.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little so it's chilly.
Yeah.
I mean, the sun's out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was definitely. I don't know. I can't. So I'm looking at this
Yeah.
here, but I can't see.
You look right here. That's where we are. That's just the
Okay,
motor.
but then you. Oh.
I can get in and out. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
So the purpose of this podcast is to be able to do it as simple as possible. We have enough technology nowadays where things can be simple. So maybe move a little.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I was over the New Year's. I went to Seattle, and then I went to the mountains. And man, talk about black ice, and it was 27 degrees, but it's so beautiful out there. I
Yeah.
couldn't live there.
Yeah.
It's just too cold.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Like I loved Austin. It was my second time there. I don't do well in cold weather. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm so much happier
Yeah.
under the sun somewhere. But it was nice.
I love the fact that you
Yeah.
could just bar hop walking, and then
Oh,
also like on Sundays. I don't know if you got to do this, but on the river, everybody gets on a floaty, and and they go down the river on Sunday for the sunset. Oh, it's so beautiful. People,
Oh, yeah,
people
they
in
do.
kayaks and people standing up.
Yeah,
on
and then
things.
there's this thing where they watch the bats come out.
Oh,
of
yeah,
it, and I
yeah.
forgot what
Yeah.
that's called, but it's basically there's a ton of bats right under
Right.
the bridge.
Yeah.
And then people just kind of sit around or stand around. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
they
actually
come out.
didn't. I didn't get to do it, but they say anywhere between like 6:45 and 9. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a big window if
And
you
they
think about it.
float around and they create forms, and
Yeah.
so it's so cool to watch. Do you know that bats are made to make lipstick? Not in all cases. Just not in all cases. Just
No, I didn't know that. I don't know. That's kind of creepy, actually.
yeah. Anyways, so let's get to
Yeah,
to-
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. You know, like we had to do something in order to be able to communicate and congregate because
Yeah.
of the Omicron, and you know, it's like there is nobody that you can like reach out to that has not been touched by COVID. Somebody that they know has had COVID. I've had COVID.
Everybody's had COVID these
Yeah.
days. I feel like more people are having it. It's kind of mild now, so I know this strand is probably or seems a little more contagious, but
Yeah,
overall, I think everyone's doing okay. At least everybody I know.
yeah.
But yeah, I hope everybody is staying safe for sure.
I've had people die, you know, and it's like close people, like my aunt died, you know, and then
Of COVID?
Of COVID, yeah. And
Wow,
so,
I'm sorry.
and yeah, but you know, it's weird because I have even the booster. You know, I've had COVID now once,
Yeah.
and I got it in Costa Rica, and then I flew here. I didn't know I had until it manifested itself here. But my mom got it in Costa Rica, and she was in the hospital in Costa Rica. But she went through, and now she's back. And
Yeah.
but it's crazy. I mean, a lot of people in my family have had it, and thank God that we've been all immunized.
Yeah.
You know, so this too shall pass. In the meantime, so you started. You were. Let me start so people can understand your trajectory. You were working in corporate America, right?
Yeah, I was.
Up to COVID
I was
or something?
working in IT. Yeah. At the time, I was more of a I was a project manager, and you know, with COVID, we shut down a lot of stores. Actually, most of our retail stores, which obviously affected our business. And if there's no projects to manage, then obviously they don't need me, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way things went. It was very unexpected. It was fast. It was a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
What woke you? What happened?
I
What
was
the
already
change?
getting ready to transition at some point. I just didn't know when or how, or really I didn't know how, right? I was like, okay, I know I want to be outdoors. I know I want to work from, I don't know, any beach in the world. Really. I knew that for a fact. I was, so I've been in and out of real estate since 2004.
Uh-huh.
And that was an option, right? But then with the whole COVID thing, shut down, quarantine, like it was kind of scary. I'm like, I don't even know where this is gonna go, right? So I don't know how. I just didn't. I was a little more open to solar because I knew that people still had to pay an electricity bill.
Yeah. How did you first find out about solar? What happened?
So while I was still working, I had a friend who's been doing solar before solar was solar, right? So he had been doing solar for 7 years at the time, and that was 3 years ago. And he says, hey, I have a lot of content. I want to connect with, the Hispanic community, but I don't have anything in Spanish.
So he wasn't Latino?
He was, but he just couldn't translate it. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I was helping him out with that. Actually, it took me forever because I would do it in my, spare time. And it must have taken me at least 2 months. But I read through everything. I kind of researched, some words because I wasn't familiar with some of the vocabulary and
Right.
and I just didn't know how to translate certain things. So I looked them up. I asked around. I asked some friends.
Let
And
me
that's-
make a quick pause there.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the app? It's called Speechify.
Speechify, no.
I encourage you, if you ever have a problem like this, and for all of you listening or watching, if you ever have a moment in which you gotta do a lot of translation in blocks or maybe copy a lot of text, it's expensive. It's like $150 a year. But Speechify I have attention deficit disorder, And so I needed something that could actually read things back to me. So with Speechify, you just scan it or take a picture of it. It will
In any language?
In any language, it will then take it into a text, and it reads it back to you at whatever speed you want. So when you have attention deficit disorder like me, I gotta listen to audiobooks or anything that I listen to time and a half faster.
Yeah.
So that way it sticks, because if I have gaps, then I lose my train of thought. But anyway, I just Speechify. Those of you that ever heard of it, I encourage you. I had to research, and it's been a blessing, because especially I'm writing a book and it's a lot of content.
Yeah.
It's fast. Take a picture and you'll convert it into dialogue, or also you'll convert it to text. Speechify. Anyway, so you were doing the translation.
So I was doing the translation. In the process, he tells me, "Hey, are you done?" I mean, it's been months, right?
Right.
So I finally finish. I'm like, "This is the best I can do. You might want to have, a second set of eyes take a look." But so I did that for him. Months later, he says, "Hey, we touch base." He says he's in Vegas now. He says, "I'm doing solar in Vegas." Kind of told me what the situation was out there. Apparently, solar got shut down at some point.
Because too much abuse, wasn't it?
Because it was, there's just too many companies. Nevada Energy couldn't keep up with appointments. It was just very unorganized. So that said, he had a proposal, and he says, "Hey, I know you've been very familiar with everything I'm doing because you were able to translate it, and you learned about the business." And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, it's pretty simple." So he says, "Why don't you come out here and help me?" He says, "We need closers." I'm like, "What?"
Closers.
What? What are you talking about? So he says, "I'm going to train you. Don't worry. We're going to pay for everything." At the time, my job was also very flexible. I was remote a few times a week.
Right.
So I was able to fly back and forth. And, that's kind of how I got exposed to it, right? So my friends back home were asking me, like, "What are you doing in Vegas?" I said, I'm selling solar. But I wasn't. I was just presenting the documents, really. I mean, the solar had already been sold, right? Plus, people in Nevada pay about average $600 a month in energy. So for everybody, it's just such a, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
I mean, it's already a no-brainer, but if you're paying that much, it's just that much easier.
Right.
So did that for a bit. And then when I came back, and just people started getting interested, and then I started doing a little, sales here and there. And then finally he says, "Why don't you just sign up?" He's like, "I don't want to pay taxes on your commission. Like, I'm sharing my commission, but I'm truly making less because I'm having to pay taxes on your commission." So that's kind of how, I started with selling solar, if you will. I mean, it was a very smooth
Your first
transition.
customer was in Spanish?
My first customer was not in Spanish, no.
And did you think it was going to be harder to sell? Did you go with somebody that helped you close it, or how did you do it?
So it's so funny because most people that reach out already know they want it.
Yeah.
They just want to know. They're like, "I know it's good." Actually, my first Spanish-speaking customer said, "I know it's good because my neighbors have it. They're American," meaning like they're white, right? They're American, they're educators, and they're like, "It must be good." And I'm like, "Yeah, like that's pretty smart, right?" So, I mean, thanks to the neighbors, but that's kind of how my first sale went.
And then after that, were the rest of sales referrals?
Just word of mouth. It's kind of been like that for me. So to be honest, I mean, I've only been in business for a little over a year.
Yeah.
And it's been, as of now, it's been word of mouth, referrals, business, business owners who refer me.
Yeah.
So it's been good. I'm actually getting ready to transition and do less of that.
Why?
I'm in the process of hiring a virtual assistant.
Oh, that's cool. Out of where? There's so
Yeah.
many people that use them. I was just talking to a friend of mine that has a trucking agency, and they do this through Colombia. They do it also in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Hello. So, hey, how are you, sir? Yeah, we're in live. That's okay. Where's your partner? Just so everybody knows, there's Carlos Humphrey. Just again, he's coming. All right, you can sit or you can just let him know. Come in. Anyway, so when you started doing solar, then all of a sudden you realize have you built a book of business now? Do you have customers that have referred you other customers? Because that's the key. Once you are able to go to the second tier of referrals.
Yeah. So even with the virtual assistant, we're going to be doing stuff nationwide.
Yeah.
I actually won't really need much of that, but I am working with somebody. They actually provide the lead.
Right.
They're taking care of the marketing and
so they're building you like the website as well as the
so
funnels.
I have a website, but it's they're doing like the ads in other states, and it's going to be primarily Spanish speaking customers.
So then the lead comes in through social media or otherwise, and then it gets processing whatever. Where are you going to do it?
The lead actually comes to me directly after they've already filled out everything, which is so nice because I tell everybody it's meeting with the customer and
getting all that information
and talking to them, but
beginning.
it's really just getting that electricity bill.
Right.
That's like the pain in the butt, right?
The second page, right?
Yeah, you ask them like, oh, can I I'm gonna have to see like some of your electricity bills, maybe 6 to 12 months, and they're like, oh my god, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. People think, and it's like that in real estate too, right? Everybody wants to know how much is my payment.
Right.
If I buy a $600,000 house, it depends.
Right.
I can't tell you because then they hold you against that. Well, it's going to be $3,500, and then you're like, wait, you're at $4,000. Yeah, but you didn't have a down payment. You have bad credit. You have all these. There's so many factors.
Right.
And so people just tend to lag when you tell them like, hey, can I get 6 to 12 months of electricity bills? They're like, oh my god. So the nice thing about this process that I'm telling you about is I'll have that already.
Right. So you don't. That first step is out of the way. It's just about having a conversation and getting into an install, right?
It's just the paperwork. They're filling out everything. They're already interested, obviously, and then it's just a matter of closing the deal over the phone. If I don't pick up, it goes to a call center, which is really nice, and they're already closing, so they get to do that. So let's just say, I'm on a podcast like today, and somebody calls my phone, I don't pick up, it goes there, and I don't lose business.
That's awesome. And then there is a lot to say. My dad used to call it the rivers of cash, and I call it abundance. When you have an abundance of leads constantly coming in, you are able to set up a system, and it becomes it becomes up to you and your systems how fast you can grow. So getting to be systemized is great. Now, moving on, and this is something that I think that would be of interest of the people that watch, because we have real estate people, insurance people, tax preparers, registration services, even used car lots that watch us. If any of them have a customer that they might be interested in referring over to solar, they will be able to refer to you, right?
Yeah, of course.
So how do they
I'm not
reach you?
turning down business. That's not what I'm saying. Let me tell you. No, not at all. I'm still taking referrals. That's going to be a little more personal because I'm able to meet with a person if they choose to. However, most people don't.
Right.
They're like, no,
but
most people are just super casual. Like, no, I trust you. Send me everything. And, it hasn't been, I can count the number of appointments I've had maybe in the last 6 months. I actually had somebody reach out to me on Instagram, and she said, I know you're busy, but do you think you can come to my house and talk to me and my husband? I'm like, what are you talking about? Too busy for what? Too busy for who? This is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'd be happy to. So she thought she was bothering me, like interrupting my life. And I'm like, no, this is my business. Like, that's what I do.
So once somebody signs and they already have the solar, have you had any issues in which the customer is like, oh, I don't want it anymore, or any issues where the customer wants a refund or anything like that? Because I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest fear of anybody has a book of business. If I refer somebody to Rocio, would that customer then blame solar, and then all of a sudden I lose my insurance business or
Yeah.
my whatever I have with them? No.
Yeah, I always like to ask, if they've heard of any bad experiences. I like to get that out of the way too. I'm like, let's talk about it. Like, what is it that they didn't like, or what is it that happened, or what is it? I like to assure people that is not going to happen to them.
Right.
To answer your question, I haven't had a cancellation to date. I had one person, maybe like a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
She actually shopped, so she got referred by her realtor, and she shopped around. I think she had a quote before she reached out to me. So the realtor says, "Hey, no, I have somebody. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you going with somebody else, right? I have somebody. I told you I have somebody for alarm, for this, for that, a pool guy, all of it." So she ends up reaching out to me, and she says, "Hey, I have a quote, blah blah blah." So didn't even look at the quote. I said, "Yeah, I'm happy to help." I helped her out. We signed, and then she says, "Hey, Rocio, my the guy from my the other solar guy, right, is reaching out." And I said, "Oh, okay, well, tell him you're already like under contract, or tell him whatever you want, right?" But I didn't expect her to tell me like she was entertaining or still negotiating, right? So I said, "Oh, okay, no problem." I said, let me hold off on your project. She goes, no, not yet. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm confused because I don't know if you're still shopping. Like, I don't want to move forward with, getting permits and starting the process if you're not sure. She says, no. So then she says, I trust you. I've never met this person. She lives in the city of Perez. And she says, let me tell you what he's offering. Like all these free things, right? $500 Amazon card, free alarm system, some water purifier, like all kinds of stuff.
Those have
it was
needs.
a discount. It was a discount, and I'm like, wow, this guy really needs the sale, And I said, honestly, I think you should. She's like, I'm not about the free stuff, but it sounds kind of appealing. And I said, okay. I said, well, definitely give him the business if you're drawn to him, right? And I don't want to take that from him. I'm like, it sounds like and she's like, he's been just coming at me and just trying really hard. And I'm like, listen, like, I'm just here to I whatever. So she says, be honest with me, like, is this a good deal? And I'm like, well, what is it that you're like interested? So I said, you know what, send me the quote. Send her the quote. And I'm like, okay, I think she was getting like 1 panel more, whatever. It was kind of like it wasn't a big difference. So I talked to my contractor. He says, let's look at the quote. Okay, look at the quote. He's like, okay, and what is all this free stuff? And what is she getting? So he adds it up. Okay, that's that's this much, that's this much. You know what? We'll give her the cash. How about that? Because we're not going to give her an Amazon card. Like, I don't want to do all that. And I'm sure he doesn't either. And, and so anyways, I'm already paying a referral out of my commission. The guy says, or my contractor says, yeah, let's give her cash. So offered her cash, and she was like, oh my God, you guys are the best. Like, give me the cash. She's like, okay. She's like, honestly, and she still says, I didn't care for the free stuff. I'm like, really?
But I like the cash.
She's like, but I like the cash better. I can use the cash. So
that's cool.
Anyways, that was the only, you know what, to be honest, they reached out to me when I put a hold on it. The contractor, the owner reached out like, wait, you've never had a cancellation. What's going on? And she felt so bad. She's like, you've been awesome. She actually wants to get into real estate. So she's like, cool. I want you to mentor me. I want to do all this. And she says, please don't leave me if I don't go solar with you. She's like, I still need you in my life. And I'm thinking, girl, you're so confused right now. Like, but anyway, she's happy. We're in touch. And it's in the process. She's happy. She's getting some cash. She was already getting cash to fix her home. So her home isn't in the best condition. I'm sorry if you're watching, but she keeps saying like, oh, my house is such a lemon. She's only been there 2 months. Yeah.
But and you work everywhere in different areas, different zip codes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I work everywhere.
In
Yeah.
and all throughout Southern California, and also still Vegas and other areas.
Yeah.
Is solar something you can do everywhere? I
Yeah,
guess?
it
But it varies
is
state
and
to
it's
state,
not.
right?
It does vary. There's different requirements. There's also
What's the best state? Is it California?
California,
Because of the green laws and all the rebates and all that?
so everybody gets the tax credit.
Uh-huh.
It's a federal tax credit. Everybody gets that, but we get a lot more sun than everybody else.
Right.
Even more sun than Nevada, and even more sun there in Arizona.
Then Arizona? It's
Yeah,
so hot.
300 days. Yeah, we get sunshine about 300 days a year. So,
Wow. So
Yeah.
now let's move on to something that really was one of the, like, you do a lot of networking, I do a lot of networking, and when you're out there, a lot of people, they tell you, I'm a, and then that's kind of all you remember about that person. But with you, it has always been your consistency with giving back, right?
Yeah.
Even like when you were starting with the solar thing, and you were, I assume, selling less than what you are selling now. You were all about the giving and all about the charity. So how did that start? I mean, was it something you already had when you were working in corporate America, or?
Yeah, so I've always been very involved in the community with different initiatives. Anything, I always say anything with children. Moms, anything that has to do with children.
Domestic violence.
Domestic violence, human trafficking, orphans, orphanages, things like that. So it's been a few years now. I'm involved with different organizations, mostly introduced by friends. Either they were victims or somehow, some way. So even like the orphanage, right? I have one of my best friends. He was raised at Colina de Luz.
Colina de Luz is where?
It's in Tijuana.
Yeah. And is it like in the nice part of Tijuana? Is it in the rough part of Tijuana? Where is it like?
It's between like Rosarito and
on the hills, like going up the hills.
Going towards Ensenada, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's past Rosarito.
Yeah, it's kind of inland.
Okay.
So you don't really pass Rosarito. It's just a different way, but Rosarito's like 5 minutes away from there.
So how did you find that place? Because I know that consistently you go to that and you try to get things to them.
Yeah, actually that's a good question, because I've been doing it for quite some time. I'm doing it more now because I'm able to sponsor and give back a little more through my business.
That's
so
cool.
One of the things that I like to do is I like to share that with my customers, like, hey, you're not just buying solar, but you're also helping out these children in Tijuana. There's 60 of them, and so it's a big responsibility. Like I like going because I'm able to interact, and people always ask me, like, why do you go to Mexico? Like, why can't you do it here? I'm like, it's so sad. It's sad and it's not, right? Like, so we're all about protecting the kid, the identity, this, that, especially through COVID, like
right.
Nobody wants to get a kid sick, but in Tijuana it's a little different.
Right.
There's a lot more need. They don't get government assistance. Actually at Colina de Luz, nobody is able to adopt the children from there. So it's a long term. They're there long term. It's a long term home for
so
them.
They're going to be there until they're 18?
Yeah, if even longer.
Oh, wow.
They even get to go to the university if that's what they choose.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. How
So
many people?
It's a beautiful place. There's 60 kids. I think they're shooting for like 10 more right now.
So do you actually develop relationships with them?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
like I can't even watch
yeah.
those where they ask you for money for the dogs. I can't even watch that.
Yeah.
So it has to be heartbreaking
Oh my
sometimes.
god. Yeah, I always say, like, I tell the girls, like the teenagers, I'm like, if you guys ever make it to the US, like I would be happy to take you girls in. I just see like they have so much potential and so much love, and they're so happy there. It truly is a magical place, and for those of you watching, reach out to me if you ever want to experience something like that. It's I get a lot of donations. Yes, of course we need money, right? Everybody needs money to buy buy food. Yeah, of course. But I think that it's when you see them, when you spend time with them, when you know their heart, where you play and you truly just build that relationship with them, even if it's just an hour, two, or a whole day.
Right.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Spending some quality time, getting to know one child, two maybe, but everybody that has gone is like, wow, like life changing
Wow.
type of thing.
No, so you've taken people with you. Were you?
Oh, yeah.
With the first time, did somebody take you?
So my friend grew up there.
Oh, okay. You were. That's where we were. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then.
So my friend grew up there.
And you met him here.
Yeah, I met him here.
Yeah.
So he grew up at that orphanage, and the administrators that are there raised him.
Oh, wow.
So those are his parents.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an American couple. They're like in their late 70s now.
And what? But is there a structure enough to continue past them?
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very structured. Yeah, they are a nonprofit, and there's people from San Diego that are involved.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, hopefully, yeah, that place is not going anywhere.
So
But
you're on a first name basis with some of them, I imagine.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah. So you think of them, often. I mean, like the when you are here, we're in a land of abundance. Does it?
Yeah.
Does it take you back?
Definitely. I actually every day, because I have a shed full of donations. It's
Yeah.
crazy. People think they could just dump like their stuff here, and it's crazy to me because I was going through it like yesterday and the day before.
Yeah.
I like to sort things out sometimes. Sometimes I don't take it all to them.
Right.
Although I do like taking it to Colina because they have the space
Yeah.
to store it and also give it to anybody who comes from the colonia.
Okay.
Right. So any other orphanages, they don't keep it all, but it's nice that they can do that they have the space, and it's not that nice when I have to take like 20 bags and I can only fit 4 in my car. But that's how I get to go back more often, because
Okay.
I'm looking at that stuff and I'm like, I need to take it to them.
Right.
And I'm in communication, like we're constantly communicating with administrators, like how are you, what like what is the need. Sometimes people will ask me like, what do they need? So they love Tang. So if you ever
like
Tang,
the thing you make fake orange juice with? Okay.
yeah, that's like the one thing. So I remember the first time they asked me like, there's no Tang. We usually get it from Costco. And I was like, Tang? Okay, sure. So I went to Costco here. I bought a ton of Tang. I mean, it must have been like, I don't know, like a good 40, 50 maybe. It's
Of
like
the
10
big
bucks.
jugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought all that and I'm like, I'm hooking these people up. Like they're not gonna need this for like 6 months. And they said, no, it's one a day. I'm like,
For
wait,
that many
what?
people? Oh,
70
amazing.
people.
Wow.
So that's what they drink, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I didn't even realize that.
Wow.
They're like, no, we go through one a day. I said, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
the-
like, I think I need to write to them, right? To Tang, like,
Yeah. Well,
I think-
maybe we can do something. Make a little video. Hey, Tang. We would like some Tang for the people in Tijuana that are
for
in
the
need.
kids.
For the
They
kids.
love that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So what would you say is the most rewarding thing that has happened to you in since you've been giving? Because there has to be something that drives you, that passion that you have for it. It is more consistent than anything else that you do.
Yeah,
So-
honestly, like that's like my biggest why, right? Obviously, we want to survive, we want to give to our families and all that, but it is really rewarding. I don't know if you know that I had a big birthday party last June.
Oh, everybody knows.
Yeah. So I
Social
had
media. If you haven't seen it, what's your social media tag so they can take a look at
it's
it?
solar with Rocio.
Yeah, you will see she had a sweet quinceañera.
So go back to June. There's some pictures there. But anyways, what I want to share is that I had a bike, right? A beach cruiser that I used as a prop. It has balloons. I'm sure you guys can see it on Instagram. But yeah, so everybody wanted the bike, right? All my friends like, oh, I want it for my daughter. And I'm like, oh, well, I only have one bike. There's 5 of you.
Right.
So I was like, no, should I keep it? I said, I'm not going to ride it.
Right.
I know myself. I'm not going to ride it. So I kind of just didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, I'll think about it. A week later, I went to Tijuana with my friend Veronica, and one of the girls says, Rocio, we're having a quinceañera in July. And I'm like, oh, this was in June, right? So my birthday was in June, in July. Yeah, end of July. We're having a quinceañera. I'm like, wait, what? Like, were you guys going to invite me? They're like, yes, of course. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad we came. We actually went to the doctors. My friend needed an x-ray because Kaiser was going to take like 2 months. She says, can you give me a ride to TJ? And I said, yeah, sure. She's like, I just need like an MRI or whatever. Sure, no problem.
I just had an MRI yesterday.
Did you?
For those of you that have not had an MRI, it's very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So she had one done, and then we're waiting. It was going to be like 2-3 hours, and we're like, let's go to the orphanage. Like, let's surprise them. So we took them pizza, like just really quick, and then that's when they're telling us about the quinceañera. So on our way back, me and Vero were like, what if we like raffled the bike and gave the proceeds to the girls? So it was 2 girls for their quinceañera.
That's cool.
So, yeah, so that's what we did. I was actually a speaker at Gracefully Fierce. It's one of my friend's women's events, and she let me raffle it there. It was like right before or a couple weeks later. So I raised, I want to say $2,500,
Wow.
$2,600
And the
from that.
bike didn't cost you that, right?
No, I bought it on OfferUp for $60.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but that was a bit like, even if it
just putting numbers so people understand that giving, it doesn't necessarily need to have a lot. It's all about being
But
creative.
it was such a cute bike. It was pink, and then the way I decorated it with flowers and balloons, everybody wanted the bike, right? Like, they're like, I want the bike. But long story short, we raffled the bike at Gracefully Fierce, and it was such a big hit. I mean, it was great. I mean, even months later, they sent me pictures and they told me, hey, we were able to buy school supplies for the kids with the money. Like, it wasn't all, because I ended up buying some stuff for the quinceañera, and I took a chef, a friend, he's a chef. Yeah, oh my God, it was so nice. He was like crying the whole time. He was just happy to be there and to be of service, you know, like, and the kids loved his food. They wanted him to come back the next day.
That's
like,
cool.
can we come back and have breakfast? Like the same thing for breakfast. They're like, we don't care. It was so
cool.
cute.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was able to do that. So that was, I would have to say that's like that's one of the highlights, I think, like being able to use that, you know,
awesome.
from my birthday to kind of fund theirs.
Right. That's
They're,
cool.
yeah, I mean, I'll show you some pictures. I think I have some pictures of that quinceañera on my Instagram too.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it was a big deal.
That's awesome.
For them, right?
Yeah.
It was like a little gala for the whole orphanage.
Right.
I had a friend, Janet Cano. She donated all the girls' dresses, so they all wore a new dress.
Oh,
like it was
that's
like a
awesome.
little gown. Oh my God, they were like, it was
That's
so
cool.
cute. Like the kids had like a little bow tie or ties. It was their night.
So as Latinos, and especially as Latino owners, a lot of us, and I speak from experience of dealing with many people over many decades, we really concentrate so much on protecting our own family and building wealth for our own family, and we don't realize that it doesn't really need to be a lot. It just needs to be consistent, and you have to be able to set aside some time and resources to be able to do this, because nothing that she has mentioned about charity thus far, or even when we've been off camera, has been about big money. It hasn't been. It has been about just the passion of doing it. And I know it's hard. I mean, for me, it's like I want to do this, and then I get choosy. But I want to do that. No, I want to do that, and it's like, man, time just has passed by. All this time has passed by, and honestly, I haven't done anything about it. And you just took that step, and it fulfills you a lot. So
yeah, I mean, there's people. I tell people, I'm like, $5 feeds them for 1 week.
Right.
Like, you can literally give up a Starbucks
right.
and feed a kid for a week. You know
Right.
what I mean? It doesn't take much. I think everybody has $5.
Right.
If you don't, you need to be selling solar. I'll tell you that right now. If you don't have $5, sell some solar.
So anyway, going back to business, and I appreciate you sharing that with us, because I'll make the first nomination. I'll nominate you for Community Angel of the Year, and I'll put that out on social media because I've seen the consistency. You have been a member with us since the beginning, and really since the beginning when we started thinking about this. And so I wanted to ask you, what has Lapa done for you? I mean, not to put you on the spot, but has it done anything for you?
Yeah, so you guys always put me on the spot.
But you like it.
I think I was the first speaker at the first Lapa event back in June, 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
Do you remember how sweaty it was?
Oh my God,
it
I don't
was
want to
so
remember
hot.
that. I remember how cute my pink jacket, my pink suit was. So it was a little hot there, but it was worth it. I think people liked it.
I think we forged a business community out of it.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. So I was the first speaker, and then the next event I was asked to speak again, and then but honestly, I think it's been great, right? I've met a lot of people through Lapa, a lot of great referral partners, a lot of other business owners, right? So I'm able to learn about other businesses. Why not? We're all in business to help each other, right? Or we're all here at Lapa trying to help each other, trying to keep our business, within the Latino community, I think, to help other Latinos. So I think that's also been an advantage for me, right? Being a Spanish speaker. I think I've been able to connect with a lot more people, and people like that. Like when you talk to somebody in their language, it's like, how do you speak Spanish so well? I go, well, my parents don't speak English, so what am I supposed to speak?
Right.
But yeah, so I really encourage people to reach out to us or join, the podcast now or an event. I think it's great. I'm the first one to say that I've been, it's not always about business, but a lot of the relationships that I've made through Lapa.
Right.
Yep.
Lapa is here in order to be able to help people see bigger than just their little bubble. I always like to see things from way up high and see how can you make those connections. Like you've been speaking a lot about what is known as your circle of influence, right? So the more you expand your circle of influence, I think that the better you can serve your clientele, because if you know somebody that is reliable, that is ethical, and that is professional, that does, say, alarms, and you met them through us, they gotta hold themselves accountable to the rest of us, because otherwise their circle of influence will diminish, right? So for all of us, it's all about keep on finding those professionals, those people that you can blindly refer it over, and that they're not there to take your customer, they're not there to try to, they're simply there to deliver what you ask them to deliver. And then it makes you more pliable, it makes you more multi-service, and it gives you the ability to stay constantly on your customer's mind, where in the past a lot of people were very, I'll just do what I do and I do what I do, but nowadays you can't do what you do, because if you only do what you do, then you don't have any reach, and you don't have any ability to really thrive, right? So I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We're going to be doing this until Omicron or whatever Omicron's cousin comes in, right? But I can tell you that just by the last one we did, we had a lot of people that really had not even known that we existed, and these are people that I personally knew, and I was shocked that they didn't know that we were around, and so I think the reach is good. I think that it'll be a while. We were scheduling our convention to be in May, Cinco de Mayo, but I don't think it's time. I don't think if we might do a virtual thing, but those things are really not there yet either. So for a while we have to be able to communicate this way. We're going to be doing additional things, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
Tell them how to reach you.
How to reach me.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to connect, either to do business, have any questions, or would like to be a part of any of the organizations, it's not just the orphanage that I'm a part of. I'm also a board member for the Chito Foundation, and it is also
the what?
Chito Foundation.
What's Chito Foundation?
It's an organization for young entrepreneurs. We're providing mentorship programs and guidance for those underprivileged kids in underprivileged communities. So Chase is also a part of that. So
Right.
I actually met Samir, who is with Chase.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how Chase got involved with Chito.
Yeah.
Met Samir at Lapa, one of the events here, and so very, very thankful for, I mean, if he's watching, he's amazing. Honestly, everybody at Chase has been great. So, out, my social media is Solar with Rocio on Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. I appreciate you
Okay.
coming in such short notice. She was not here when I called her, and then she was like, "Okay, next week." So thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you, thank
Thank you. Can you do me a favor and call Carlos and tell him to come in and replace his partner since his partner is stuck in traffic, Alex? Carlos Humphrey, the guy that popped in.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're here live from Cielo Karaoke y Más. We're going to be giving away a couple hats. This is one. This is the newest hat. And Cielo Karaoke Mas, for those of you that have been to a karaoke place in Koreatown, this is the other one. They are the place is awesome. You have a mafioso room. We're currently in the business room. There is karaoke machines in every room, and you can have your family or your friends come over. And Anthony Flores, who is running around somewhere, he's also an insurance agent. And if you want to host some stuff, you're more than welcome to reach out. Cielo Karaoke y Más here in Fullerton. Now, I wanted to tell you next week we have great people confirmed. We have our good friend Mario Luna, Mr. Placas himself will be with us, as well as Jeffrey Pinzon will be another person that will be with us. So, looking forward to next Thursday number 3. And I'm looking forward to seeing Mario. Mario is talking a lot about technology, a lot of new things that he's doing. So look for that. And again, nominate people for the Community Angel Awards. All you have to send us is a direct mail or a direct email or a text. And let us know who you think is a real estate agency of the year. Who do you think is a good or the best insurance agency of the year, tax preparer agency of the year, registration services of the year. And Community Angel of the Year. We just spent some quality time talking about, charity and how important that is. And I do nominate Rocio because she does deserve it, because she needs the exposure in order to be able to get more people to help there in Tijuana. So I look forward to seeing you soon. I look forward to having you participate on Thursdays. And so the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is change is the only permanence. There's nothing more than change. And change is happening really a lot lately. The change that we're seeing will continue to be at this speed because of technology and its development. In the next 10 years, we're going to develop in technology more than we did in the last 100 years. That in itself makes what we're doing today nothing. Do you know, how things are changing so fast that, for example, Tesla is way behind on their orders, yet other companies cannot catch up. Yet, how did they get there when all these other companies had all the technology and all the resources to be able to do that? Same thing that is happening in every industry, whether it's insurance, whether it's real estate, especially real estate. Those of you that are in real estate now, you know that soon, and the government already announced the increase in interest rates. How is that going to wreak havoc with your customer? And how are you going to serve that customer better? So changes are constant, and obviously we can only assimilate as much change as we allow ourselves to. And I encourage you, opportunities in chaos, and there is opportunity now because people are having different priorities. So everybody's priority has changed. And so you got to focus on your customers' needs, offer additional help, even in things that you might not make any money on. This will pay off as referrals, but it will also increase the ability for our community to thrive during these tough times. So before we have our first guest that is stuck in traffic, Alex Perez, come up, we can have our next guest come up. They're a couple, they're a power couple, they're good friends of mine. Actually, Flor and I have known each other, I'll let it tell you since when, but it was when we had another organization called LAAA, and we were both really, really young and new in this stuff. But, now things have evolved, and there's a lot of, how can I say, like when I had my first office, Oasis Insurance, I did only auto, then I did home, maybe some commercial. But it was so hard back then to really implement a system that would be effective in being able to maintain somebody in my office just to do life insurance to Latinos. It was the Sancho syndrome, and to be quite honest, I personally had a hard time with it. I remember back then it was the thing that gave the largest amount of commission, the largest percentage of commission, but that's because it was hard to sell. And there's people that even back then thrived in it. And I continuously, in our previous organization, the Latin American Agents Association, tried to implement it as much as I could. I would bring in big companies to try to do sponsorship, and then they actually did. ING and other big companies came in, New York Life, but that's not the thing for the Latino. It was so hard to make it fit while we were thriving in all the other insurance types. Life insurance was something that was harder. Well, fast forward to now, I'm 53, and on 2022, all of us know people that have died. Because of that, it is imperative that if you have a book of business, that you offer to your customers some possibility of legacy, and they will thank you for it, and their family will thank you for it. And I think we're living different times, and because of that, I wanted to have them come up. They are Cristian and Flor Orellana have been supporters and members of this organization since we started. They continue to do so, and as they have been participating with us, I really have been paying attention to life insurance. I think that even though I had not been in insurance in a long time, I think that timing is everything. I think that in some of the best moves in my life have been when I feel in the gut and I start researching and I start trying to figure out if I'm gonna go into this industry, who's the best horse to ride? And that's how I arrived to two old friends. And let's just first bring him up, and then we can talk a little bit about what we're doing together. But it's just very exciting for me to really be going back in insurance thanks to this lady that is over here. So Flor, Cristian, come on up and talk to us a little bit. They are so busy, they just came out from somewhere else, and they still made it here before Alex Perez. Alex, we hope to see you soon. Have a seat. Let me bring him up. Wherever. Yeah. So welcome to Cielo. This is not the first time all three of us are here, right?
Yes.
We were here for Halloween, and since then we've been here as customers, right?
Absolutely. Regulars.
Yeah. So first, I want to do something. I want to give you my signed contract for PHP. Awesome. I already emailed it to you, but now I'm part of it. And the reason, no, it was you. He, your husband is always talking. He tried. But I guess the time, the decades that we known each other, and that it just made sense when we talked. But also, what's amazing to me about it is that I was doing research for myself. What is the best option? I've been blessed. We all have certain things that God gave us, and I know that one of the things that I get is last Thursdays, and she was telling me how well she's doing with it, but even off camera, and I've been watching, I've been seeing, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just, then Flor calls me and goes, you have Rudy Lomelingo, and you have, even Senor Nava is somewhere in PHP now too. So like, it's, for those of you that know Senor Antonio Nava, who I believe he's now a grandpa. So congratulate him if you know him. So anyway, so what happened was like, I did a lot of research, and I've been blessed to have a lot of friends in the life business and in different ways of life business. And I've seen you guys, transition. But before we get into that, and by the way, now that we're part of the team, I want to start educating people on life insurance, because I think, if you are doing something that you don't believe in, then it's never going to work, right? And so for me, this has been something that at the beginning was on an unconscious level, and now is certainly on a conscious level. And I want to educate people the necessity for them to leave a legacy behind, especially now that is the imminent death is present.
Well, now is a subject of every day that we're talking because of what happening right now. And the biggest thing for us was, we come from the PNC business.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
We're on it. We're auto insurance and taxes, and then we were in different companies. It's not that every company they do bad things or bad business. No, it just you gotta follow. You gotta find a system, and you gotta find the people that you want to be around. It's more of than life insurance. Life insurance is a product like anybody else, right? How many tax offices? Right. How many tax preparers do we have out there, right?
Right.
How many real estate agents do we have out there? It's just a matter of how you do business, right? How do you do business? You do business to benefit the client, or you do benefits to benefit yourself, right?
Right.
So for us, it was very important to find a company that was always looking to take care of the client.
Right.
That was one of the main things that pushed us into go to PHP. And we like sales. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, I don't see myself selling life insurance." Well, in the company, you're not forced to sell if you don't want to. But yes, you're sitting down with people every single day that you can help them. Because in our business, for example, we had many people, customers that will walk in and say, "Oh, my mom passed away."
Right.
And we had to do a car wash. Or they would leave a box, right?
Wow.
In your office. Oh, can the clients and everybody
I hate
can
seeing
donate,
those in
right?
social media. It tears my heart.
It's just crazy, right? So my wife told me we have to do something about it. Because here's the thing is, the Latino, because that's the community that we serve, the Latino isn't that they don't have money to buy life insurance.
Right.
That's one of the main things that we saw in this industry is that people were in need. Every time that I say with a client, they're like, "Well, they never told me that's the way it works. I have a policy, but they just told me it's going to be this much a month, and this is what my family will get when they die." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's good, but this is how this policy works." And they get amazed by it. So I'm glad that we were able to take that role and jump into that industry and be able to be the face of the Latino community to be able to educate them and everything like that.
How long ago did you guys switch from auto and taxes to life?
So we were doing auto insurance and taxes, a business. We're on it for 11 years.
You had a franchise, a big
we
franchise,
were a
right?
franchise, yes, and a lot of experience. That's how we met. In the very beginnings.
Yeah.
We were so young. Beautiful memories, and the property and casualty business, the auto insurance business, is a beautiful business. A small world here in LA, right? Like everybody knows each other.
Right.
But like my husband said, I so much need right now. With getting education mainly, and it's not in our culture. Like if you go to a Jewish party, they talk about so how are you preparing yourself? How much money you're making?
Right.
And let's say that we go to a party or one of our parties, and then I ask you, "So Andre, how much money are you making?" You be like,
right.
We don't talk about money, right? But in other cultures, they help each other.
Yeah.
Okay, you go invest here. This is how you make your money grow and stuff like that.
Right.
So the part of us learning about the money game, and I believe that Latinos, we come to America, we work super hard, 1, 2 jobs. An impact, and we change the life of Latinos in America. We work so hard. That's what we love also LAPA, because LAPA connects now business owners, leaders in our community to raise our community.
Yeah, and it's the big difference I think comes even before we were born, because as Latinos, we don't have 637 sins, and 75% of them are directly related to your patrimony. And that's what's happening with the Jewish community, for example. You are raised knowing that you cannot let an opportunity to develop patrimony for your group, for your clan, or your family. You have to know that if you don't let it pass, it's a sin For us, we have 10 to 15 cents. And if we do follow 5, it's a lot, right? But on top of that, we have this syndrome that has been created. And I'm Catholic. I was a altar boy in Costa Rica too. And my experience was pleasant. It wasn't it wasn't unpleasant, but it's such a backwards way that the doctrine of the Catholicism that it shames us into being able or wanting more for ourselves. That just to start, right? And then we have on top of that the uneducated process that we've had in for years with like, you know, all the people that really in our countries never had to have insurance outside of what they are required to have, right? So it's the whole change of mentality. But I think that unfortunately, because we are in pandemic times, this has changed. And those that are in the forefront of that,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be able to really reap not only the rewards, but be able to reach a larger audience and bring the general conscious up, right? And I appreciate that you saying that LAPA is sort of a group that allows that to happen among business
we
owners.
need more leadership. We need
Right.
more leadership. Latinos, we need leadership. We need men to rise up, and lead our community.
Yeah.
We are, America is the number one country in the world, and it has to be because of all the Latino efforts. We work super hard. We do the hardest jobs. So we deserve to understand about finances. But your question was how long we've been doing this.
Right.
And I got distracted.
That's okay. I have
We're very
ADD too.
But we've been doing it, babe, for like 2 years and a half. Like we're running our third year. I honestly, I can tell you that I was excited about implementing something of what I was doing, and I never thought I was gonna like it so much.
Oh, wow.
Never thought. I was like something else. And we have a lot of people that, right now we're working with a lot of business owners.
Yes.
As business owners is our background. We know so many friends like you, we're friends for so many years. And some other good friends are leaders. They have their property and casualty office. They have taxes. We have even lawyers that decided to join what we do and do it part-time. For multiple things, so maybe my husband can talk about for multiple things, but right now, if anybody have access to a cell phone, I can't find my cell phone. If you have access to your cell phone and you go to Instagram and Facebook, you are going to find somebody that passed away.
Well,
You're going to find somebody that passed away or a friend that has somebody that passed away. So this pandemic made us realize that that is real. And now we're thinking like, crap, this could happen to me. What I'm going to do with my kids, what I'm leaving to them, what I'm leaving to my wife. No, we're creating conscious. And I think, not just saying that this is a perfect opportunity to do this industry for financials, but like a financial opportunity, but at the same time, as a community, now we're learning that this is so crucial, so important, so real. The pandemic is real. We're losing people, and this is real. We need to be financially prepared. So I'm super excited to be a leader with my husband in the community, and we're helping so many people get protected, so many families get protected.
Yes.
And that's key for the finance industry.
So let's say that picture yourselves 2.5 years into your Fiesta Auto franchise, and now picture yourself into 2.5 years of this.
Yes.
Tell me, a lot of the people that follow us are property and casualty people.
Yes.
And they, prior to knowing what's going on with pandemic, they would have never thought to do this, or even to hear of somebody that is really happy doing life insurance. The perspective from a property and casualty agent is like, oh man, those guys are hitting the pavement all the time. I'm just sitting here in the office, right? Back when it wasn't about remote working, right? And so now that so many things have changed. But tell me, for you guys, like, do you remember 2.5 years into being into your franchise? What was the situation then? Were you growing as fast? Were you as excited? Did you see potential growth the same? Tell me, I don't know, what happened?
I remember not making no money my first 2 years. I remember like being broke as a joke my first 2 years.
So you not only paid for franchise, but you also were not making money?
Yeah, I wasn't making
Everything
money.
was going to the employees and the structure?
Everything was going to employees, and then something that within the years, we started going, the business started getting stronger, but as you get stronger, you open more offices.
Right, the brick and mortar
then your
shops.
liabilities are higher.
Right.
So I remember we've had 8 offices and doing auto insurance and taxes. We had over 40 something employees. Something dollars.
Right.
My liabilities were high.
Right.
Lawsuits were high. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm working so hard. I'm providing a job for so many families, but at the same time, I'm getting liable for so many things.
Right.
So now that we sold the business before pandemic.
Really?
And that was like from God. I promise you didn't know it was going to be a pandemic.
Right.
How
Right.
much before pandemic?
But before pandemic, one of our friends that had offices in New Mexico, he said, I want to expand to California. I want to buy your offices. And I was like, oh, my babies. But we had it for
Your
so many
babies that
years.
were pain.
My babies that were painful,
Yeah.
like normal babies.
Right.
My babies that were a lot of work, very painful. And we said, maybe it's time to let go. It's time for a new stage in my life. And we talked about it, we prayed about it, we said, yes, let's do it. We sold the offices, and 2 months later, pandemic hits, when
Right.
people were not buying auto insurance,
Right.
where some of the stores, retail stores had to be closed. It would have been a nightmare.
Right.
So we sold the offices for a 7-figure, check. That was good.
Right.
And then we started full-time doing life insurance. Pandemic hit, so people now need life insurance.
Right.
Everybody's talking about life insurance. I remember what you said. Clients used to say in the past, oh, no me hables de la muerte. Don't even talk about that. No me eches
Right.
la sal,
Right,
like,
right.
they don't want to talk about it. No le quiero dejar nada al Sancho.
Right.
That was the past. This is it, before pandemic. Now,
Right.
post-pandemic, it's like, yes, like
Yes,
we're
we have
concerned.
Right.
It's different.
A lot different.
So a lot different things have changed. So we have been able to take advantage. I think God has been good to us. They gave us opportunity to come to the industry in the right time. We've been able to meet beautiful people. We have amazing partners, like you mentioned, some of them.
Right.
Luis and Miguel,
Right.
they're always here. Amazing partners that we have. They're growing tremendously. We are excited for them. We're excited too. So, and we're very excited that
Yeah.
so many people
It's
love
right timing.
you.
It's timing. It's timing.
It's
A lot of
timing.
people love you. A lot of people follow you, and you have influenced so many lives. And
Thank
I
you.
know that now in pandemic, you're going to be able to help a lot of people, a lot of business owners with this, new side of the business, and so many families through you are going to be blessed.
Yes.
That's awesome. I was just talking to Rocio about giving and about charity, and life insurance is certainly not
That's
that
it,
because you
yeah.
get paid, but in a time like now, it has to be a feel good. So coming back to the question, 2.5 years into Fiesta franchise and 2.5 years into PHP, what's the difference?
It's a big difference. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about Fiesta.
Right.
We learned a lot. We were able to experience a lot of things that
Yes.
now it makes us better because now we feel the pain the business owners are going through.
Yeah.
Right, of
So that
course.
experience you cannot buy it anywhere, right?
Right, right.
But money-wise,
But money-wise, if you're talking about money,
Yeah.
we have made more money in PHP in the first 2 years than we ever made in Fiesta the first 2 years.
Wow.
yeah, no, like
But it's just
probably-
different markets,
I
right?
would say like 10 times more.
10 times more,
than
yeah.
in my first
That's
3
because,
years.
auto insurance is low premiums and you make money very, very small. Life insurance is more payout.
And retention is definitely
and
high.
retention is high.
When you say like why insurance companies pay you more in life
Right.
than in auto, is in auto insurance the clients only keep it for 6 months.
If that.
So
If that now.
If that.
Yeah.
But the average is 6 months.
Yeah.
So it costs a lot of money for the insurance companies to service
keep up.
clients.
Right.
So life insurance, the clients keep the policy for the rest of their lives.
Right.
So the retention is very high. So the insurance companies can afford to pay us high commissions for that.
Right.
So
So what about agency value? Like, for example, if you build a book of life insurance business, does it, like PNC, does it have a residual value? Can you sell your book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. With the
only
company
with PHP.
Only with
Because
PHP.
That was for me a selling point, right?
Right.
Because we wanted to do life insurance and we look into different other companies.
Just like I did.
Yeah.
Good. And
Yeah.
Yes, and here's one license. I am the owner of my book. I can sell, transfer. My kids can inherit my book if I want to. And also I have opportunity to acquire equity in the company.
That's
so,
awesome.
So that was exciting for us. So we got a piece of the company and they still expanding. So all the business owners that we're working with, once we said, hey, you want to have pink slip of this company? Like you want to have a piece of the pie? They say yes. So
course.
That for us is cool.
I
And I know
remember-
you like to own businesses, so that's gonna be exciting for you.
I remember when I first saw their office in Norwalk and I smelled the paint. It was that fresh. And back then, she told me and he told me you should join us. I should have joined them back then from the aspect of reaching out to a larger network and building up wealth and helping people. But I wasn't ready. And, you know, like one of the things that people don't understand about me is like, I have to feel it. If I don't feel it in my heart, I had to do some research. I had to do a lot of stuff, right? And even when I first saw you guys in that office, I'm like, oh my God, that's a big leap, right? Inside me, of course, you know, I'm going to be encouraging you and stuff, but I've seen what has happened, and it's a tremendous opportunity that anybody that is interested in looking at something that might make a difference even within you, you know, you have to believe in what you provide, and you know, God bless us with all the opportunities of meeting people. And, you know, how long is a relationship going to last for me if I offer something that I don't believe in, that I have not researched, that I have not compared to everything else? So I'm so excited to be part of it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to go at it.
Sometimes it's like any business, right? You want to start a business,
Right.
and you want to make money the first month, right?
Right.
In this career, the same thing is you're protecting someone's family,
Right.
And let's say something happens to that family member, you're gonna walk into the house giving out a check,
Right.
To give that person a check. That's gonna turn real to you. For me, I have two experiences. My mom passed away at 42 years old, breast cancer, no life insurance. Then my brother passed away recently 2 years ago,
Oh, wow.
and he had a life insurance.
Uh-huh.
So I already seen both sides of the coin.
The difference.
Right? The difference. I seen both. So I'm like, okay, I can benefit this from people. And then the biggest selling point for us was we can help people with IT numbers. And not only that, we're the only company in the United States, or in California actually, that can give the opportunity for someone with an IT number to get a license to the state of California and do this business.
Say
The only company.
say it again.
So
What are you
we're the
talking-
only company.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened here?
What happened? So we're the only company in the United States that actually, in the state of California and Chicago, with the 19 number, you can get your life license, and we can appoint you to sell life insurance.
That's
so you
awesome.
can become an agent as well, and you can get some income as well with the 19 number. So we're the first company to be able to do that, and that's one of the biggest selling points that we have as well.
I did a lot of research. I didn't even know that. But my boss here just sent me over some books I have to go over. And I'm amazed that I'm going back into the insurance business. And I
Remember
don't.
what I told you? You can run.
You can't run, but you can't hide.
Insurance.
It's true. And then, you know, it's like, it's amazing because like I have been going through so many changes. Some of them are amazing. Like my finger, you know, I lost my nail because I had I was jogging, doing the right thing, and then a car ran over me. I was like, oh, you know, and so that happened, and then a bunch of other personal stuff has happened, and all of a sudden I looked at myself, where I was 2 months ago to where I am now, and there's been so many things that I have chosen to put on ice for so long that now I'm just doing it. I'm like, yeah, I've been meaning to do that. I'm gonna do that. I've been meaning to do this, and one of them, and a big one, was with you guys, because you know we see each other constantly because of Lapa, and then you know I see the growth, I see the momentum, I see how it's been building, and you know friends like Rudy Lomelin, we were talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, do it, and then I'm like, why am I telling him to do it and I'm not doing it, right? There's some people here like Luisa and Miguel, like I told, yeah, do it, and I'm still haven't done it, right? And you know, it's one of those things where like, you know, you just
It's timing,
Yeah.
definitely. You know, like we're starting 2022, and people
Right.
are saying, "I want to lose weight, I want to exercise,
Right.
I want to eat right," and some people are saying, "I want to make more money." So, what are you doing to make more money, or
Right.
what are we really open to new opportunities?
Right.
And that's where we work right now with a lot of people that even they have their businesses and their careers, but they're open to new opportunities because they for sure don't want to have the same income they have in 2021.
Right.
I want to make more income than compare. You know, the years 2022 has to be a better financial year for me.
Right.
Then let's open yourself, you know, to do something else, especially right now in this industry that is booming. Once we have people like, you know, where dearly friends Luis and Miguel, they come on board, 2 months later, they're hitting $30,000 a month
Wow.
on life insurance. Plus they have their other businesses, their own industry, one
Right.
is in the health industry and the tax business. That's exciting. That's exciting for us.
Yeah.
I think I'm more excited for them, that they are for themselves. But it's super
They're too
exciting.
busy on it. They're busy on it. They're busy on it.
But
You
it's
know, if you
exciting
could
to
see the other side, everybody, they happen to be here. I thank you for both being here. But they're both on the phone. Rocio's paying attention, but they're both on the phone.
They're recording.
I'm commenting on the live.
But that is exciting. That is not about Christian and I making money. It's us
Right.
duplicating and blessing other people, and multiplying the blessings. Like I said, we need to lead in America. Latinos need to lead.
Right.
We need to represent our community.
Right. And, one of the things that we've seen been happening is like, because of all the COVID, there's a lot of people that are, mourning. They're mourning,
Oh, yeah.
right? And that's not going to slow down anytime soon. And then we have all of Latin America that is in that process. And honestly, for me, one of the things that I want to be concentrating on is doing things that I can do out of a laptop, because I want to spend more and more time in Costa Rica, where I'm from, because eventually I'll be doing, some political stuff there. My father was a politician as well as a banker. But even in Costa Rica, there's 500,000 people unemployed, right? So the misery that is gonna come from that, from one of the countries that was doing the better, right, before pandemic. So you gotta start thinking, what can I do different that I can actually be a circle of influence,
Yes.
do the right thing, help others, and to me now it's no brainer. But it certainly took a couple of things like what she just mentioned, how Luisa and Miguel are like kicking butt. I'm like, oh my God, I should have been kicking butt with them since then. But it's like Miguel, if you look at Miguel's social media, he's also always pushing about, doing the right thing. And it is, sometimes you might be listening to this right now and you're like, yeah, it makes sense. And then all of a sudden you have to go watch Netflix and you forgot what we talked about, and that's happening a lot because people say that we're going through a period of a lot of trauma. I would say it's a lot of period of overwhelm, right? It's just overwhelming what's
A lot of
happening.
people is not
Everything is
taking
so
action. A lot of
negative.
people is not taking the right action to
Right.
do something different. If they didn't, we have something, right? If you didn't like the results that you had in 2021,
Right.
then that means you have to do something different 2022.
Absolutely.
Something different. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's with us, with whatever it is.
Yeah.
You have to do something different.
And it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. I mean, they haven't hurt me, It's just, it's
What a
just, you just got to
blessing.
take that step, My MRI hurt more. I still have a ringing ear from yesterday, being stuck an hour and a half with the tum, tum, tum. Oh my God. But it's important to start thinking like Cristian is saying, what are you going to do? What is going to take you to where you need to be? What is going to take you to where you always wanted to be? And some of you that have businesses, yeah, you have a book of business, save it by providing something that is really going to be meaningful for them. And I think life insurance is that. And I certainly obviously think that I signed on the dotted dot. I believe that PHP is that. And it's been not only from, you guys' consistent suggestion about it, but it's also because I've done research. There's other companies that do operate in similar ways, but their systems are different. And I interviewed with a lot of people. Some of them are members of our organization, and I just think that from what I've been able to see, touch, and feel, PHP is a great solution. So we encourage you to be able to reach out to now us, right?
Us, yeah.
or,
That is us.
or Luisa or Miguel, and we would love to help. And all you have to be able to be is you have to be coachable. And for me, it's not hard to be coachable because I have AD&D, so I just kind of forget, right? But be coachable. If you're coachable, it's something that Luisa mentioned and it stuck with me on the last Thursday. If you are able to be coachable, which is not easy because our ego get on the way
Oh, yes.
a lot, especially we're business owners and especially we're Latinos,
yes.
right? It's like you have to pass all these barriers. Yeah, maybe it's easier with women. But it's hard to get past the ego, hard to get past like, oh, I did that before and I do it this way. No, there's certain formulas that are there because they're successful and they work. So if you're able to be coachable, I think that you'll be able to have a change in 2022 as Flor is mentioning. So I appreciate it that you guys
And
are.
something I'll close with,
Yeah.
Andrew, is you said is something powerful is like you have a business, you have a book of business, right?
Right.
And it's like having employees. If you treat right your employees, if you don't treat them right, somebody else will.
Absolutely.
Same thing with your book of business. If you don't treat it right, somebody else will treat it right for you. And then there's going to be a customer walking away, like you were saying, right?
Yeah.
You got to provide services to your clients and the best services and educating people how things work because they're going to appreciate that more than the price. They're not even going to look at the price. They're going to look at the value you're providing for them. That's the most important thing, and that's why it has allowed us to be business owners, to my wife and I, for so long. I think a lot of business owners are just trying to make money, and they focus on that. But if you focus on the client, what they need, you're gonna make more money than that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and thanks both of you again. And I
You're
now
welcome.
now be seeing you a lot more often. And so one last thing,
Excited for this.
yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But one of the last things I wanted to ask: what does it take, and how long does it take? What is the process like for those of you that might be interested in doing this?
Absolutely. Something that you need to know, maybe we haven't, there's a lot of stuff that we need to talk about,
Yeah.
but we have offices in every state of United States and Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you have friends that are business owners all over America.
Right.
So anybody could do it, and that's super exciting. It's the enrollment with the company is only $199. You have to do a course that is only 20 something bucks, so it's very inexpensive. And then you have to pay the state fee, and it's like 100 and something. So it's with maybe like $500, you're starting a legit business.
Yeah.
And then you receive training, support, guidance, and I think something that we bring, Cristian and I, we bring on the table is that we are, family oriented couple, and we like to work with integrity.
Right.
And that's why our business has been very sustainable, because we rather be very honest. We don't lie. Our rules are: we don't lie, we don't cheat, we don't steal.
Yeah,
That's
I saw the
so
3 rules
crucial.
they had in the first email I got. That I got those 3 rules. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. It's very basic, very
Yes.
truthful, but
With the Latinos, we're a desmadre. So
Yeah.
might as well, if we put respect first, and transparency, that what I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna come through. You're gonna trust me.
right.
And for us, that's super important. We want to earn everybody's trust. We want to be recognized as a couple that came into the industry and we're committed to their word. We don't want to take advantage of people. We don't want to take advantage of the clients. At the contrary, we want to come as light, to our partners, to our clients, and that's what our selling point. And I don't think it's something where we offer to our people. It's something easy to find, and we are going to do great things. And we need partners like you, partners like a lot of people. We need partners like Lapa. It has been a blessing to us. So thank you so much also to invite us to Lapa.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Lapa, if it wouldn't be for Lapa, wouldn't be busy for the last 6-8 months.
Having so much fun. Because
Yeah.
you know what? I like to do a business and have fun. Like
Yeah.
my husband and I were having fun on our industry. And then when we network with business owners, we're having fun as well. And if you see us, we're always honestly happy.
Yeah.
We're always content, and we have built amazing relationships. It doesn't mean that everybody has to be part of our team, but at the same time, everybody on Lapa, they're leaders, they're coming together, and we need to build the strong relationships to do something impactful for our Latino community.
Absolutely.
So I think that the goal of creating Lapa was incredible. I really hope that we could keep on growing and we bring more business owners to, keep on networking, help each other, build amazing relationships, and do something very impactful for the Latino community.
Yeah, everything is a blessing in disguise if you are willing to receive the message, as they say. So hopefully you'll receive the message. You'll be able to keep your book of business, whether you do car registration, whether you do property and casualty, whether you do real estate. You are able to keep your book of business and make a difference in people's lives. Because, I remember distinctly way back when I had an office in Oxnard where I tested everything because it was in front of the DMV, and so it had large flat screens when people didn't have large flat screens, and so customers would just come in because they could watch the novela there, right? And I'm like, why are these customers hanging out in the lobby so long? And then I'm like, I gotta at least put a little commercial about just what insurance is. And I remember we went to Rosarito and we shot that a series of things, people without towing and rental, people without car insurance, and people without life insurance. And I remember even back then, what used to get the most reaction was the fact that we shot a family full of food and everybody and the kids, everybody laughing and having a good time. And then we showed the same family once the guy passed away, and we showed two endings, so we made it like a little telenovela. One was just them without life insurance, nothing on the table, and that used to really get people's attention, because even then they were like, wait a minute. And then we would show the person that got life insurance, and while they were still hurting for their loved one, they now had food on the table, right? And that was, I remember the customers used to have the most reaction to that video, and then we started passing it through all the other offices. And we did sell a little bit of life insurance, but it wasn't like we were actually convinced. It wasn't intentional. It was just like over the counter, okay, sign here, right? And so I know that now is the time. You guys have felt it and seen that is the time. So thank you for being here. And if you just reach out, send us an email, send us a message, send us a text.
Reach out to Andre Urena. He's the man. He's the man.
And also the test is really easy.
Yeah.
80 questions, 60%, and you can take it in Spanish and English.
That's awesome.
Español lo puedes tomar
And you don't need a social security? Man,
you're good to go.
it's cool. Thank you very much. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
I know that
Thank
you
you.
guys have been here, have been like running around today, but I appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Pura vida. So now we await on Mr. Alex Perez. I've seen Carlos Humphrey out there. I don't know if he's still out there. If Miguelito, you see Carlos Humphrey out there? Can you bring him in here by the ears? Because we need to talk about Sentry, and Alex keeps on sending me texts that he's on the way, but he's stuck in traffic. So in the meantime, once again, I want to make sure that you guys understand that we have nominations going for Community Angel, and the reason why we're bringing Community Angel to the forefront nominations is because we want to do awards that recognize Real Estate Agency of the Year, Insurance Agency of the Year, Tax Preparer Agency of the Year, Registration Services Agency of the Year. By the way, those of you that are not into the registration services and you have a brick and mortar shop, we encourage you to do so. We can help you with that. There is different software you can use for it, and the software that we recommend is DealerTrack. Not only are they a supporter of LAPA, but they are also much different than all legacy systems, and they're able to give you the information in lifetime, in real time. So therefore, you don't have to wait to get your statement once a month to be able to backtrack and audit your own business. You'll be able to audit it on the fly, and you will be able to save some money with DealerTrack. Registration services is something that more and more is multi-services agencies are doing. So if you need to know how, or if you are interested in learning more, even if you have registration services today, but you don't know really to promote it enough to get people to come to your store, please let us know. We've learned of many different things, including geo-tracking, which will allow people to know in their phone that you have registration services nearby. So reach out to us. We have know-how, and if there's questions that you have, if you're just starting on registration, of the year, and that is regardless of the type of financial services that you offer, this person or this agency is constantly seeking ways in which they can help those in need and encourage others to do the same. So we encourage you to be charitable in these times, and we encourage you to do things that are different that you were not doing before. For all those of you that do tax preparers, you can give them a good service with the tax preparation return, and that's good. But what about helping the customer a little beyond that? How about offering them a living trust? A living trust is something that will help them avoid probate court and cost. It will designate who receives the assets, assigns legal guardianship for minor children, designate a conservator if needed, Eliminate federal state tax. That's important, especially when somebody passes and then you have to split an asset. Appoint agents to make health or financial decisions for you. Both Thursdays we've talked about death, and it's ever present in front of us. And why not offer living trust to your customer? They can also, through a living trust, appoint a successor trustee to manage your affairs and properties if you can't. How many people get, unfortunately, a tube down their throat, and that's all. They can't speak after that, and a lot of them, unfortunately, after that, don't come back out of it. What about their assets? Did they have a living trust? Most people don't. So raise that question to your tax preparers this tax season, your customers, and we can help you. It's an easy process, just a few paperwork, and there's a form to be able to do so. So I encourage you to do so, and please do so. Think about living trust. It's an opportunity for you to grow. Also, let's talk a little bit about what it would take. There's different types of living trust. There is a large living trust and there is small living trusts. So the fees change between the two, and you can certainly offer both to the customers. So if you're interested in more information about this, just reach out to us and we would love to help. There is a lot of opportunity to be able to serve your customer better, not just doing the tax return, but talking to them about life insurance, talking to them about the uncomfortable things will make that customer closer to you if you are a professional about it. And you want your customer to look for you for bigger things than just that. So I appreciate all of the feedback that we've been getting back. And let's talk a little bit about who's coming up next. Who we have next week. We have Mario Luna. Mario is Mr. Placas himself. He's an insurance agent, and as far as I've seen, he's one of the most techie guys, the one that knows how to use technology the most. And he's a good person to reach out to. So he'll be here. He will be speaking about a lot of different things. We also have Mr. Jeffrey Pinzon, who is an influencer. He does solar, but he also does a hell of a job when it comes to sales. And so he is somebody that I encourage all of you to be able to reach out to. And the opportunity that is coming up on the next Thursdays is for you to get some advice. We have an attorney coming in, and he'll be able to talk to us, and we will be able to get some ideas of what to do with what to do with when it comes to that. Sorry, I was just getting some news that Alex still stuck in traffic. He's gonna have to make it up to us, and we appreciate that all of you are joining us in more and more. I was so amazed all days later on YouTube for you to be able to read about it. So what does it take to be a member of LAPA? It's very simple. You go to our website to www.lapa.work, and once you're there, you look for membership, and it's $95 a year right now. For $95 a year, you get to have a conversation with one of us, whether it's live or in Zoom, and we go through your business. Always having a fresh set of eyes on what you do is good. The monotony of running a business sort of puts blinders on us. And I can tell you from personal experience, because I attended most of these visits to our members, and we have a lot of them scheduled as well, is when you come in with a fresh set of eyes, you don't see the same things that the business owner sees, especially if you have a brick and mortar shop. You see the possibilities of being able to offer other services, and what services are those and why, depending on where the location is. There's a lot of different things that you as a business owner, because it is your business, you don't see it. But as soon as we look at it, because we have so many other samples in our business community, then we realize, well, maybe they can do this because so-and-so has had success with this and that. We also help you with your personnel. I know that one of the things that has been happening a lot of lately is it's been very critically hard to find personnel. We can teach you how to actually get that from other places, from Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama. There's so many different places that offer the ability for you to have virtual assistants. And then you can concentrate on growing your sales force at your office and then leaving or the administrative and customer service related issues to somebody else that is eager to do the work, speaks both languages, and more often than not, years ago, and maybe 15 years ago, we at Confie, Freeway Insurance, for those of you that don't know, Confie Holdings owns Freeway Insurance as well as many other brands. And just like now, they just recently did an acquisition. It grew by acquisition. One of the companies that had always interested me was called Ingles Sin Barreras, owned by a Chilean gentleman that later on also created Seguros Sin Barreras. And one of the smart things that they did back then, this is way before COVID was in anybody's even mind or track, what they did is they got licensed in all the states of the United States to do insurance in retail. And with that, they just started getting customers, Latinos, that would trust the name of Seguros Sin Barreras because of Ingles Sin Barreras. They started buying insurance to them in different states, Nebraska, Alaska. There was Latinos everywhere back then. It's not like now where you just go to Google and you find out anything there is to find out about people. But back then there wasn't that opportunity. Well, when we acquire Seguros Sin Barreras, we also acquire a customer service in Tijuana, which today, to this day, is owned by Confie Holdings, and Confie is the second largest call center in Tijuana. And today, it provides Spanish-speaking people to not only retail agencies, but it also does for brands and for insurance companies. And it has grown so tremendously. But it all came from an idea, and it's what I'm referring to. Way back then, there was vision people like Valeria Rico, who ran Seguros Sin Barreras back then, and then later on Confie. She had the foresight to get licensed in every state. She had the foresight to do remote working. She had the foresight to not depend on the brick and mortar model. She had the foresight to do it ahead of everybody else, so that way she would be that much further. Well, we are now in the place in which a virtual assistant is more normal than not. Recently I was on the phone speaking with a good friend, insurance agent, very large one. We've known each other for years. And we were talking about how he benefited by being able to move his customer service to Colombia long ago. And now he doesn't have that problem that most have, which is, what do I do to service the customers right? Because as we all know, insurance has a tail. You sell the policy and then you 6 months into it or a year into it of customer service. In that, he also, not with Byron, with Tyler from Aspire General. He was mentioning how they operate this way too. The companies in the future, whether there's large or small, are going to be doing a lot more virtual assisting. And this is coming not yesterday, but the day before. This is something that is here now. So if this is something that you want to venture into and you want to understand a little better, reach out. We would love to help you. Members of the organization, going back to what the $95 gets you, it also gets you the ability to do things that faster. And what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Earlier this week, we received a text from actually a member of the old organization that we had, LAAA, Latin American Agents Association. Now I'm named it twice today. He was in a bit of a predicament because he had all these issues that he thought they were unsurmountable in order for him to open business up again. And he had 3 big problems. He's like, I have three big problems, this, that. We were able to put him in touch with experts and professionals for each one of his issues, and they found him solutions. Now I'm proud to say he'll be opening his office. We do, there, thank God we have a lot of reach and we have a lot of knowledge, and if we don't have the knowledge, somebody within our business community does. That's what $95 a year gets you, plus like Luisa from Luna's Tax mentioned last time, it's tax deductible. So I encourage you to become part of us. You go to www.lapa.work and become a member. $95 a year, it's all it takes, and we immediately will schedule an appointment to come out and see you. Recently, I was out visiting Dynamics Insurance, our good friend Cristina Aguilera. I love her name because it's impossible to forget. And we went out to see Cristina as she became a member, and we were able to put in motion certain things that she had not done. For example, updating her website to be able to have different funnels to be able to get those leads into the office more easily. We're working on several other things with her that she really had not seen why there was a necessity to improve them right away. But once we pointed out certain things, she was able to say, oh my God, and she immediately got on those things. And her office is getting ready for tax season like many others, and she's getting ready in a bigger way, in a better way. We've done that with several other agencies, and we will continue to do so. All you have to do is become part of LAPA. I'm still waiting on Alex Perez. Hopefully he will be able to reach us soon. But in the meantime, let's talk about something more that hopefully can touch you a little more. A lot of people ask me all the time, what is a good thing to read if you want to create change in your life? And to me, the practical steps that this book offers have been a renewal of spirit, passion, and drive for me for many years. And I believe in this book so much that I carry it with me all the time. And that book is To Think and Grow Rich. But this is not the book. This is after you read the book, you do the workbook. And I've done this workbook, I say every 2 years or so. And it puts it down into writing down what's your objectives, and really clarifies a lot of the clouds that we build for ourselves. In this time of overwhelm, I don't like calling it trauma, but in this time of overwhelm, people really have a hard time seeing from high up. Like I was talking with Rocio earlier, there is so much opportunity out there, yet our own minds prevents us from looking forward, and we create this dialogue in our heads. And if we were just to look out at ourselves having this dialogue, and how this dialogue prevents us from doing all that we want to do in our lives, it's hard. And all that To Think and Grow Rich book does, it shows you a lot of successful people and how they were able to reach their dreams and beyond. It talks about Henry Ford and Rockefellers and a lot of people. This book has been around for a long time, and if you've never heard it, it's called Think and Grow Rich, and it's by Napoleon Hill. It's been like I said, a book that keeps on giving back to me. I constantly keep going back to it, and I'm right now just very proud. I'm almost finished with the workbook on this go around, and I had not done it for about three years or so. But now, if you're looking for guidance, if you're looking to, like Flor and Cristian were saying earlier, oh my God, he does live. He appears. Come on, he's straight in. That book is Think and Grow Rich. I know he was here. I know he's always committed. But just like I was telling right before we started earlier, I was talking to Rocio. I moved from Oxnard to North Hollywood, and man, the traffic. I mean, I go virtual now most of the time. I think I was thinking since Thursday Thursdays are going so well. I was thinking, man, just once a week I'm gonna get out. The rest I'm gonna do it through Zoom because the traffic in LA is unbearable. Unbearable. But hey, he got a haircut. That's nice.
Yes, I did.
So, let me bring in our good friend. I'm glad that you're here, man. We're gonna maybe go over a little bit of time, but
No worries. Sorry I'm late.
It's
Got
okay.
stuck in traffic in the 110, and it was just bumper to bumper after that.
hey, man, you know it's life, and our first guest became our last guest, and that's because there is no coincidence in life. There's destiny. There's a reason why that is happening. And so let's start real quick. Let's not talk about what you do today. How did you get into insurance, and what got you into insurance?
So I actually started insurance in 2007. I was in the real
Oh, by the way, he's Alex Perez. Everybody with Sentry.
Placer mi gente. So I was doing real estate.
Yeah.
I was working with my uncle's mortgage company, and I was sending the referrals to close escrow for the homeowners insurance.
Yeah.
Cut the story short, I was selling insurance without knowing that I was selling insurance. My friend at that time was like, you know what, here's the FSE. I didn't know what FSE was, but he's
Right.
like, just put all the information, just let me know what's the amounts, which company, and then I'll send you the binder, right?
Right.
So I was doing everything.
Was it fax and blue screens at the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was still those old days. So that's what happened. A market crashed. My uncle passed away. We had to close the mortgage company. And the first thing I thought, I was like, okay, well, let me jump into the insurance. I went like 4 months without doing anything.
What year was that?
2008,
Okay.
when the market crashed. So I went a little bit over 5 months or so, no job, no nothing. I was just living off my savings. And then one day he called me like, hey, I need an agent, come work for me. I went, I got an interview with a mom, and boom, I was working for insurance, and the rest was history.
Right.
Fell in love with it.
You fell in love with it, and at what point you went from just doing it retail and to actually managing sales and pushing sales teams and things
So I
like that?
worked with his company for only about a year or so.
Yeah.
Got to be top agent within less than a year.
Yeah.
On the BF side and sales. I knew I wasn't going to grow there anymore. I
Right.
knew there was no potential to grow there because they were the owners.
Right.
So that's when I scaled outside, and like I look outside, it was power insurance back then.
Power insurance. I remember. Was it off of the
Ana.
freeway, right? Yeah.
I was there a couple of days. Mr. Robert Dominguez, un saludo, no sé si lo vas a ver. And then he introduced me to how everything was. Didn't quite kind of sort of like it, if you will.
Right.
I applied at Adriana's Insurance.
Right. Adriana, you worked at Adriana's.
Yes, I applied at Adriana's Insurance, and then in the one of Valley. And then I went to interview, started working with them.
In El Monte, in Valley.
Now in Fontana.
Okay.
And then just went to Just Auto Insurance.
Right.
And that's when I started my career. Within 6 months, I was already managing locations.
So what was the difference between there and the mom and pop you were working in? Was it just financial? Was it, did you learn more? Did you meet more people? What was it, the difference then? Do you remember?
Of course, it's one of the now I can tell you, and your people here that are watching, is now I understand the reason why things happen and the way she has a company structure, even with Leon, is because they have structure.
Right.
They have a foundation. They have systems. Everything has to be accordingly, otherwise you're not successful.
Right.
Now I understand why everything was the way it was. And that's the reason why they're so successful.
Right.
And did I learn a lot? Yes, I learned so much. I am grateful. Sometimes when you get pounded, you're like, why me? Or
You have to be coachable. We were talking about that a little while ago.
So when you're in that moment, you're like, oh man, like they're hard, or but all they're doing is just setting you up for success. And obviously you take the knowledge, you take it anywhere, and you apply it to everything else that you learn in life, and it's only going to help you. It's only to make you better. And I think that's another reason why she is so successful.
So for those of you that don't know, maybe you just joined us earlier on, his partner jumped in, Carlos Humphrey, and I thought he was standing in for Alex, but then he left. But now let's go there. What happened from Adriana's to you going into tech? Whose idea was it? How did Sentry get started? I mean, what was it?
Sentry got started. So I opened up my own agency with my wife after I left Just Auto.
Uh-huh.
I opened my own agency.
What was the name?
It was called 5 Star Insurance.
Okay. Where?
Out of Fontana.
Okay.
Out of Fontana. I used to live in Rancho, so it was very close. I teamed up with Carlos, and we thought about
You teamed up with Carlos Humphrey because
Carlos
of what?
Humphrey. So his business, as you know, it's under the digital.
Right.
So we're like, okay, well let's network, let's cross sell,
Right.
Let's reference things,
Right.
So we're like, okay, so we started working together. I'm like, okay, well we're gonna need. I used to use HotSoft back then, and then I'm like, you know what, we're gonna need HotSoft in every single location because I need the documents, I need the underwriting. Obviously, he didn't know about insurance. He doesn't know about insurance, so I was trying to coach him on that.
Right.
He has an awesome team with our very techie. So
In Mexico, right?
in Mexico and
Right.
Tijuana. So we're like, let's create something, and that's when it just scaled down. I'm like, okay. So we started. Century was just for me and him.
Oh, it was for 5 Star Insurance.
It
You
was
were
just for
building.
us. It
Oh,
was-
I didn't know that.
It was just for me and him, so that I can service all his customers, and at the same time, everything's updated, right? So I'll have all the information. Nothing's missing.
Right.
As you know, as insurance, if you don't have documents, if you don't have receipts, if you don't have notes,
Right.
it can be really, really bad in case of a claim or something with DOI, right?
Right.
So,
And
essentially-
the services that existed were not really fulfilling your need.
No.
Because where you're thinking technology allows for more, why can't I get there, right?
Pretty
So
much.
It's always been my frustration in insurance is departments, I think, but time will change everything.
Yeah,
But
Blue
so-
Fire, if you're listening, change.
So what happened at that moment? It just lit a fire on you
It lit a
guys.
fire.
And then when did you see the possibility? Okay, now I can offer this to other colleagues.
So I want to say within 2 months that we built Century.
Right.
Obviously, it didn't look like that. It
Right.
looked completely different. It was just like a 19 dot system, didn't have color. It was just very simple for us to use.
Right.
And that's when a light bulb just went boom. I'm like, hey, we can really get into this. I'm like, because I asked him like, what else can they do? And they're like, the programmers were like, you tell me and we program it. Like, you tell me what you want to do and what color, what letter, and it's done.
Right.
So as an agent, I've always said I use many other softwares, and I'm like, why can this one do this one, that one? Why
Don't
can
bounce
this?
because then it bounce. Don't bounce because then the camera bounce.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. So I didn't know which one to go to, right?
Right.
And it was just a perfect idea to get this from this, this from this, and put it together.
Right.
One more simple, one more with underwriting, more with and it just put it all together on a whiteboard, and it was history after that.
Wow. So now, by the way, can you pass that tray? Because Trey has a thing for you and a thing for me brought to us by our good friend Anthony Flores. And by the way, you know what? I
Cielo
told you.
y más.
I told you it was meant to be because I said, don't bring me a drink till the end. But let me tell you about this drink
What is
before.
it?
This drink has a live animal in it.
Oh, it
this,
is that
right here.
grasshopper.
There it is. So we're having this, and
You're having that. I'm having this one.
so Thirsty Thursdays,
Thursdays.
and
Oh,
you
man.
have a new drink here. Look at this. It has a jalapeno in it.
Jalapeno.
It has a little cricket. Oops.
Oh no, you didn't.
Delicious.
It's crunchy. I can hear it. You know what's funny? I was talking to Anthony the other day.
Yeah.
Because I talk to him like every other day. He's a mentor to me and a good, great friend.
Salud.
Cheers, by the way. Sorry for being late. I do apologize.
Hey, you got a drink. Nobody else. Everybody else got water.
And he was eating those, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm eating those Coach Alex." And da da da. I'm like, "Bro, that's nasty." He's like, "No, they're the best protein ever." I'm like,
I'm chewing it right now. It tastes beautiful with this drink. So come to Cielo Karaoke Mas. Not only you get to get a drink in which you have an actual animal that you can eat, like this cricket, but the drinks are delicious, done by wonderful Dulce here. She's the manager, and then it gets fun. I mean, earlier on I was hearing, and by the way, those of you that are still with us, I appreciate you staying with us a little longer. This
you.
will all be able to be in YouTube within the next 48 hours. But there's more things that I want to cover with Alex before we end this live podcast. So You guys got started with Sentry, and what I like about Sentry is that it's new technology, and it's also it was first for insurance, but now it's also for income tax, right?
Yeah. So when we first started, and just like all entrepreneurs, right? We kind of started without being fully ready.
Yeah.
And we don't normally say this, but we started a little bit too early, and it was just we got busy. We just started getting new customers, and
every customer had an idea.
and every customer had an idea, and every customer was like, "Oh, this." I'm like, "Oh, it's waiting. Give me 1 second." So the whole idea was to do it for a multi-service office,
Right.
because as Latinos, we always sell more than one thing, right?
Right.
And every office that I go to, they do more than one service. So that was the whole idea. And then slowly but surely, we started integrating the life and health, the Medicare, the registration services, and then the income tax.
Right.
So, and that's where we're going with it right now. We ended up, doing the whole merchant service thing, where they can automatically run a credit card directly through Sentry, just inputting information. So much more technology so that it can make it more friendly, usable for the agent.
Right.
But at the same time, the most important part for me on the system is so that the agent can give a good customer experience.
And it's not as expensive as one would think. I think the pricing is just right. And I think that the more people use the features that it has, and they're constantly updating those features, is what makes it very interesting to me. Because for the longest time, I don't know if you knew, but there was a time back many moons ago in which I was literally with another partner about to come out with a rater and a customer service in it. A CRM, a customer relationship management system within the rating system. And we were doing checkmate to FSC. Unfortunately, back then I had an ego the size of this room, and our partners and I, we never released the program. Really was one day out to get it out to the people. And since then, I know what technology can do, and more it can do every day. And I just don't see that reflected in the current CRMs out there, because they really don't have a nimble enough IT team, I think, like you guys do, because you guys operate with people that have been with you for a while, and they handle all the industries, therefore they're responsible, right?
Yeah, no, and that's I think that's one of the keys for us being successful. It's not me. This is not a one-man show. There's a whole team behind it, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're so successful. And obviously, having the experience as an agent, selling, managing,
Don't bang it.
underwriting. The underwriting and everything else. It just gives it that more of that value, so that like I said, the agents can give a better customer experience, and not only that, they can have be more successful in their agencies, because time is money. Or they can have a platform where they can underwrite, they can keep accounting, when they can do the merchant services,
Right.
And the technology that we have, it just makes it easier for them.
So a couple of things before we close. One is, where do you see technology going? And two, if you have registration services, you can use Sentry?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You can use Sentry. We have a couple of things that are in the works with DMV with a certain carrier. I can't say the name yet.
Right.
But it's just going to be, they're going to be able to process and bridge to Sentry automatically, instantly as well. They're going to be able to do registration services through us.
Oh, okay.
So if they're not fully licensed to do that, they can still going to be able to do it through
wow.
us. So that's something huge. That's another game changer.
That's cool.
Like I said, my vision, and Carlos can stand behind this, is that I wanted to make a change on the insurance industry.
Yeah.
When I first started, and now with the whole team sees it. So now we all have that whole mindset that we want to change that. We want to make it better, and just leave a legacy, man. Like, there's something that si se puede. It's possible. You gotta work your ass off, and a hat from cielo, finally. And it's doable, man. There's no such a thing as it can be done. It's just you gotta go out there and do it.
Salud, man. Thank you for coming to Thirsty Thursdays.
Thank
Look at
you
me in
for
the eye
having
when
me.
you make a shot. When you click with somebody.
Sorry.
There you go. Otherwise, it's 7 years of bad
Bad luck.
No, bad sex. with that, we would like to close. Thanks everybody that participated today. Next week, we have Mr. Placas himself, Mario Luna, speaking with us. He's a confirmed guest, as well as Jeffrey Pinzon, who does a lot of sales through social media. And we will also have a special guest, an attorney, speaking to us about everything that we thought that would go wrong can go right. I don't know if you guys remember last Thursday, one of the things that Tyler mentioned is that the cops are not out giving tickets right now. And they're not out giving tickets right now because they're spread too thin. And so therefore things have changed. So I want to have the point of view from an attorney on how things are going to be, because really now most people have a clean driving record when they shouldn't, because there's a lot less law out there. So live from Fullerton, thanks everybody that stayed a little longer. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks Alex for being here. And these 2 hats will be raffled, so make sure that you remember I am saying the word evergreen. Whomever texts evergreen to me first and second will get these hats. We'll mail them out to you. Evergreen. If your business is not evergreen, if your business is not a continuity, a systematic way, you will not be able to grow fast enough. We encourage you to come to Lapa, be part of us. What has Lapa done for you before we cut out?
Oh man, well, I'm gonna be really honest with you. So Lapa has helped me network with many other people that either got me business, helped each other out one way or another. Actually on the works with doing an episode of Off-Road Without Express with Chase.
Oh, cool. Wow, that's
Yes.
cool. We were just
Yeah.
talking earlier how Chase helped Rocio, and now he's helping you, and that came from Lapa, from that first sweaty day we had.
Yes.
Remember that long 1
That
to
long,
8?
yes.
We had about 15 speakers, and we had no air conditioning, but it was our birth. We had to sweat it out.
We had to sweat it out. So definitely come to all the events that Lapa has. You go into Facebook, his lives. This is a place where you can network, and you don't know who you don't know unless you come into an event, because you don't know how or who can take your business to the next level, or even just yourself. And somebody, you never know what other person can do for you. So attend, very important.
Thank you very much for being here. Cielo Karaoke Más. Enjoy your grillo. He didn't have a grillo. I had a grillo. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye everybody, thank you.
Thank you for being here. Tune in for Thursdays next week, number 3 edition with our good friend Mario Luna. Pura vida.
Sorry, see